Hope so too. I'm
Broadcast is live.
There we go. We are live. Hi
Hello,
Willie.
everybody. How are
Merry
you, Tack?
Christmas and Happy New Year. It's been that long
Exactly.
since I've talked to you.
Pretty close.
Yeah. How was your Christmas?
Good.
Yeah. Do anything special?
Spent time with the family.
Yeah. Yeah. How was your New Year's?
Went to the bar with the wife, so not bad.
Did you really?
Yeah, we
That's
actually stayed up till
awesome.
midnight.
That's great. Well, it looks like we have somebody watching us. I don't know who, but somebody's watching us. That's good.
Yay, somebody come to visit. It's probably
Yeah.
Brenda.
And then they left.
Oh, loser. I should be nice.
Don't call people losers on my channel.
It's not my channel.
I know. That's why I said don't do it.
Oh, it's okay. We like you all, even if you want to be a quitter and not watch us the whole time. Did you freeze? Tack, hello? Tack, can you hear me? This isn't good because I'm live and I don't know who can see what. Hello? Oh well, Facebook or YouTube must not like me tonight. Well, looks like I'm the one on the host tonight. Hello, everybody. Apparently, Tack's having some computer issues. I don't know if I'm still live or not. Make sure you ask any questions that you have. I have no questions yet. I don't know if this is still live or not. What are you doing? Oh, and we have Miss Nora. There's no comments. And I don't know what to do. Just curious if this is live. If anybody's there, please comment so I know if this is actually working. This is weird. Hey, go up and ask Mama if we're on Tack's page. Oop, and you just bumped my camera. Are you back?
I'm back. I am so sorry. My internet went out.
Well, I wasn't sure if I was still going or not. I was like, I don't know, but I was looking to see if
I was like, oh shit. Oh shucks. What happened? Hi.
I wasn't sure what was going on either, and I didn't know if I was still going or if anybody was commenting or anything.
No.
And I made Nora go ask Diane, but then about that time you come back.
Oh, okay. Whew.
I was halfway up the stairs.
Yep.
You were halfway up the stairs.
Good thing you're good at exercising.
Yeah. Holy cow. I can't believe it just went out. I don't know. Hi, Janice. Okay. Let me show Willie because Willie can't see who's here. So there's there.
I clicked on the chat thing on here, but I can't see myself hardly. Oh. There we go. Now I can see. Yes, I love awkward moments.
Yeah. And there's
Because I
Janice.
wasn't sure with your computer being down. I didn't know if we were still live, if it was still going, or what it was doing. So
It looked like it kept going.
it said it was live on me, so that's why I kept trying to talk some and kept telling people to comment if it was doing anything, because I didn't know if it was doing anything.
All right. Anyways, we were talking about the new year and everything. You said things have been going good for you.
Yep, just busy.
Yeah, busy. And that's why we started. I called you to see if we should do this live stream because
I
in
have
your
plants started.
greenhouse you have tomatoes going.
Yeah, I've got 800 seedlings going right now.
Wow. Like you planted 800 seeds.
Yeah, 800 seeds.
Wow. And so for a home gardener like me, because this is January, the exact middle of January. But for a home gardener like me, when should I start seeds? And what seeds should I start first?
You should start all of your cool weather crop stuff first, like your cabbage, broccoli, kale, that type of stuff, because it will take a frost. Most of the time, them are February-ish, because you can plant them in March when as soon as you can get into the ground to work it, you can plant that stuff.
Okay.
Onions would be another good thing if you're going to start onions from seeds, because them take a while to get going. But for like your tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, I probably wouldn't start those till probably March, because otherwise they're going to get too big. Oh, watch out, sweetie. Sorry about that. I got to readjust. I'm having help. But I wouldn't start most of them till March, because you probably don't want them planted until, watch out, Nora, until you probably don't want to put them outside till mid-May in my area, in central Iowa.
We are zone
5A-ish.
Oh, I don't know. I thought it was 7.
We're not 7. 7's farther south.
Oh, okay.
You might have been 7 when you lived somewhere else, but no, we're like 5.
Okay.
5A-ish.
And then, so let's talk about once we get them started.
Okay.
About how many inches of growth before we take them out?
Depends on the weather and what you're growing. Certain things get bigger than others, but typically I like to plant my tomatoes as small as possible, because it seems like they get stunted when you plant them outside, like the great big 5-gallon bucket looking sized ones. I like to keep planting them smaller because they don't seem to get it stunted as bad. Okay, you're going to either have to move or stop bumping the camera. Sorry about that. And she does it again. I know she wasn't meaning to, but it was just, there's not quite as much room. And then, of course, the cat's down here, and she's trying to play with the cat the whole time. And so it was getting a little too much to watch. Okay,
so let's talk about lifespans of each plant, basically. Or because you said cold weather. So
crops,
that means
cold crops like your cabbage, broccoli,
so they
kale.
take longer to grow.
Not necessarily. They're they're plants that were originated in cooler climates like Northern Europe and stuff. So it doesn't get as warm. Tomatoes and peppers and stuff are a tropical plant. So they are native to tropical regions. So they like the warm weather. They do better when it's warm out.
Okay. Well, hello, welcome, Valerie. If you guys have any gardening questions, we have our expert,
semi-professional
gardener. He can help if you guys are into gardening.
I can try.
Brenda and I are starting a big backyard garden for the first time. And so I thought this would be a great topic to help us out so that we can learn. Willie has 800 tomatoes going already in his greenhouse.
Yep.
So I was just like, wow. So that clears up. I don't start my tomatoes until March.
So I would not start them till March.
Okay.
Because Something like a tomato, if it got frost on the tomato plant, it would die. It doesn't do frost well. And if I know in our area, the frost free date is usually Mother's Day weekend ish, where we are. And so you wouldn't want to do that till later, because otherwise,
Okay.
and so that's what you have to go by. But see, like broccoli and cabbage and kale, they'll take down to like 25 degrees, so they can get really, really cold and still do well.
Awesome.
And so that's why some of that stuff you can plant earlier. But see, like broccoli and cabbage, they don't like to grow when it's really hot, like July, August. So that's why you plant them either really early or you plant them for a fall crop. And then you seed them in like end of July. You plant them outside in August, and then they'll get big. And then in the fall, you can harvest them.
Okay, so Valerie's in Virginia. Do you know what zone she's probably in?
I don't know. It kind of gets weird when you get that way. Some of the places don't get super cold. And it depends on what you want to plant outside. Just like what I was talking about. Cold weather crops or cold weather crops, they can start way earlier. But then if you like tomatoes and stuff, you'd want to wait on them.
Okay. Welcome, Johnny, from Prepping Life. Glad
Hello,
to see
buddy.
you,
Haven't seen you for a while.
Yeah. So so my peppers then, when should I start those, before or after tomatoes, or during?
You should probably start them a little bit sooner because they take just a little bit longer to grow and get bigger. The end of February, 1st of March still, probably. Because you won't want to put them out till May.
All right, here's what Valerie wants to know.
An asparagus bed. The best thing for asparagus is, and I'm going to be a very bad person, go find some 2-year-old roots somewhere. I do know usually you can buy them at Walmart's. You can buy them at any of the nursery centers. I don't know what exactly all you have for nurseries out there, but any place that sells flowers will usually have bags of asparagus root. Put it in a very, very fertile spot, because asparagus, you plant it now and you will probably be picking it in 50 years still. But you will not get any asparagus for 2 years or so. You'll get the spears to come up, but you want them, I like them like pinky size or bigger before I cut them. And we don't cut anything smaller than a pencil. Just for when they start, but you need to let them grow because they'll get big, and you see all the big ferns and stuff. That puts the energy into the roots for next year. So you always let them get big and go to seed, and then that way they will put energy in for the next year's crop. And the more you do that, the bigger you will get. And I've had some pretty dang good sized.
So you're saying even if it shoots the first year,
do not harvest it. Do not pick it. Most, if you can buy 2- or 3-year-old roots, you can pick them sooner, a limited amount. But for the first year, for sure, I would not pick anything. The second year, you could probably take a few. Third year, you should be pretty good.
Okay. You want it to establish itself.
You want it to establish it. Because if you plant it now, I have a bed that my grandparents were picking, or great-grandparents were picking on when they bought the farm in the 30s.
Oh.
And it's still in my yard.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So it will literally, you can pick it for over 50 years if you get it started well.
Okay. Let's talk about vining plants. Cucumbers, squash. I know, like, I've seen a lot of people growing loofahs lately.
Yeah, we've done it before. It's kind of fun, but our problem is it almost gets too cold. Every time we've done loofahs, we got little bitty ones. We didn't get any big ones because it gets too cold too quick. We don't have a long enough growing season to grow them well.
Hello, Wanda. How are you? That's Wanda. She started a new channel, you guys. Pescadora 515. That's my friend Wanda. So if
Hi,
you guys
Wanda.
want to see videos of fish, go check her out.
But like cucumbers and stuff, they're kind of like the tomatoes. I do not transplant pretty well any vine. I've always had better luck direct seeding the seed into the soil. I do start some to sell. I don't like it because I know I don't have as good of luck. And if somebody's going to have bad luck with it, I would prefer it not to be the stuff I sold them.
Ah, I see. Because I know when 2020 hit,
Mm-hmm.
you started selling plants, and
Yep.
we did bucket plants. And
Yep.
one of my cucumbers got hit with hail.
Yep.
But the other one, oh, let me tell you, it took off and we were eating. Well, the problem was we didn't wait. So we were eating one cucumber a day.
I've done that. Well, see, we do that, except we plant like 100 of them at a time.
Yes. So for a backyard grower that's actually pretty new, what almost, I can't say fail proof, but almost fail proof plants do you suggest they grow?
It depends what you like. If you're going to grow something that you do not like, say you don't like, we'll say a turnip. A turnip's foolproof. You put the seed in the ground, as long as it gets some water, it'll pretty well grow. But if you don't like it, it's pointless to grow it.
Right. Well, I like radishes.
Radishes are super easy. They grow really good. And the good thing with radishes, they're great to do on for kids and stuff, like a kid's garden, because in 20-some days, you usually have a radish that's pickable.
Valerie's got a question for you.
How do you keep the bugs off cabbage plants? I'm going to be a person that some people are going to dislike: chemicals. We use it sparingly, but because we are beekeepers first, so we do not like to spray if we don't have to. Plus, chemicals are expensive. This is my business. By selling it's how I make money. The more I spend on it, the less I profit from it. So I am kind of a skewed person, but I have to have stuff. If you only have a couple, you can go out there and pick them off, but we use 7 a lot. Do not use the powder if you can. Always go liquid. Powdered, the bees will pick up and take back to their hive because they think it's pollen. So always, if you can, and then you want to spray either really late afternoon, evening, or very first thing in the morning, so that way it has time to dry. So then that way the bees aren't getting into it, because the bees are home. Like the old saying, when the street lights turn on, the bees are home. They don't usually are out at night. That way it works good to spray really late or really early in the morning.
That is awesome. And then Wanda would like to know how to grow rhubarb.
Rhubarb's awesome. We have a huge patch of it. If anybody's interested in seeing how big our patch actually is, watch us this spring and summer. I will show it. It is huge. We expanded it. And I'm probably going to dig up some more and make it bigger. Find a good source of roots. Walmart usually has them. I have planted some Walmart plants, roots, and have done well. You can usually buy them at any nursery. Sometimes you can get them potted that are growing, and that will actually be really good. They got an extra year's growth on them. You plant them in a really good spot that you never want to do anything else with, because they will pretty well be there forever until you take them out. And then they are really hardy. They're really easy. We do usually use grass clippings around them to keep the grass and weeds down, to mulch them. We have a bagging push mower that we use in between the rows of them. That way we're not blowing the grass all over it. But we've probably got
Well, Wanda,
150
the next
plants.
time I go see Willie, you are more than welcome to come check out 3B's Farms. He has great honey. That's where we get our honey. We try to buy as big as we can. Last time we got a
Usually you
gallon.
guys buy at gallons.
Yeah, usually we get a gallon at a time. Absolutely love it. Because we know the source, you know.
Yep.
So 3B's, and we got a rhubarb plant from you.
Yep.
We got it on trade. Yeah.
Yep. I dug it up while you were waiting.
Yep. And so, and man, I can't keep up with the one plant.
You don't know how many I'd hate to guess how many I have. I've probably got 5, 6, 7. I have 7 rows almost as long as what our one greenhouse is. Our little one that we start them in. We've got them almost all the way down now.
I make pies, I make smoothies and all that stuff.
We sell a lot of it.
And then I still have to freeze it I have to freeze it. So,
and that's the good thing about it. It freezes so well.
Yes, absolutely.
And that way you can have it. It's a great thing in the winter when there's nothing else fresh. And it tastes really good like it was fresh. My farm is at Griswold, Iowa, Southwest Iowa. The orchard is approximately 33 acres. We have 800 to 1,000 apple trees. And if we would include the corn, maize, and all the pumpkins, will be about 10-ish acres of planted stuff that we plant every year. And then we have 3 greenhouses. One we use to start vegetables and flowers, and then the one we sell out of, and then the other one, our great big greenhouse, it is all tomatoes. We'll put 630 tomato plants in there. That's why we started 800, because you never get 100% germ. 100% of your seeds never start. So we always plant a few more, and that way we can pick and choose some of the better looking ones for what we need.
I tell you guys what, I have been there to see this tomato production. It is amazing. That's all I can say. It is amazing. I
have videos on my page. If you would go to my channel, Steve Brahms, and become friends with me if you haven't. And then you can go, and I'd have videos from in the past of doing stuff out there and showing it off, garden and the greenhouses. And then if you're local, you can always become friends with us on Facebook, 3B Farms Market and Orchard. And
I forgot to put that in the description box, but I do have Willie's channel link in the description box if you guys would like to check him out. I mean, it is amazing.
I do a little bit of everything. My channel's kind of random.
Yeah, but the tomatoes don't even grow in soil.
We grow them in perlite. It's a full hydroponic setup. It's really good. We're hoping second week of February to have the tomatoes planted.
Yep.
Is my goal right now.
Okay, so let's say I want tomatoes. I'm a new gardener. I want tomatoes. What kind, other than cherry tomatoes, what kind do you think would help a new gardener?
Honestly, if you have a good start, and I'm not opposed of people going to Walmart, buying their starts from Walmart. I would prefer you buy them from a person like me, but the people that grow them, there are expert gardeners where they start them. The problem is a lot of them places like that, or a big box store in general, the people that take care of them in the store have absolutely no clue what it takes to take care of the plants. That's why you almost always get a better quality plant from a nursery or a greenhouse. If you go to Lowe's, is horrible about it. They usually have the absolute best prices on about any plant you want to buy. But an awful lot, anybody that knows what they're looking at can look at them and they're kind of like, that's a little sketchy. But they have the best prices, but they have the lowest quality typically.
Okay.
But you can usually do that. But honestly, any tomato plant that you like, if you have a variety that you like, they all are about the same requirements. If you want something to produce and make a ton of stuff, plant a grape or a cherry tomato because you about can't keep up with it. They
Okay.
grow like weeds. You about can't do anything. They are almost too productive for their own good.
Wow. That's what a new gardener would want. Something
And nothing is better than going out and working in your garden and pulling 2 or 3 tomatoes off while you're messing around out there.
Yeah.
Every time you're out there, you just pull a handful of them off and eat them fresh off the plant. Nothing is better than that because you did it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to thank Wanda for giving the $2.99 super sticker. I appreciate your support. So Janice goes to the Amish. Now,
the Amish auctions are awesome. I know a couple people that go down that way, and they're usually, you can't beat the price, and they usually are quality. They're planting huge gardens for themselves to get their families through the winter. And so they are really good gardeners.
Yeah.
I honestly wish they would, in my opinion, coming from me, I wish they would plant or charge more according to what they are. They tend to sell themselves short for what their quality is.
Oh, okay.
Because they'll come into a market and just more or less give stuff away. They sell really cheap because they're getting what they need to, but for the quality they have, usually they could charge more. They're afraid to charge too much, I think. But I have that problem with a lot of people at farmers markets too, because...
Do you think they are afraid to charge more, or is that just them?
I don't think it's they're afraid. They're just, this is what we've always done. This is what we're always going to do. And it doesn't matter. They have I don't want to stereotype, but usually they have 12 to 15 kids. So they have no labor cost in it because it's their family. It's just what they do.
Yep.
But
well, I want to welcome Mike with Hike with Mike from Florida. So I'm going to go ahead and run down the list of what we have on the side chat right now. So I want to welcome the Scottish American. Hello, Jason from Ohio. We have Janice Butler from Southeast Iowa. We have Valerie from
Virginia.
We have Prepping Life from Eastern
Cedar Rapids.
Iowa. Pescadora, that is from Des Moines with me. And then we have Hike with Mike that came in from Florida. There we go. And then Janice says she goes to the greenhouse one.
I know where there's several at that I've been to. There's a couple in northern Iowa that we've been to, and central Iowa. That they're amazing what they have. And the varieties usually are impressive, but the reason we had always gone before is they give us enough of a discount. It was worth driving it.
Yeah.
And so that was before we starting all of our own. We bought flats of onions from them to transplant, and they smoking deal. And I feel that they could charge more than what they are and not have to grow as much. Just they'd be better off. My opinions.
What is she doing? Hand pink waving. I don't know.
I wonder if she tried to do an emoji thing and it didn't work.
Hi, honey.
Hi, Brenda.
Okay. I have to ask. So, let's talk squash. Actually, we'll come to squash in a minute. Let's talk potatoes.
Okay.
Are we in a good zone for potatoes?
I grow a crap ton of them.
Okay, so for me,
we put 500 pounds of seed potatoes in at once.
You've seen my yard.
Uh-huh.
Now, somebody suggested a barrel.
I've done some of this. It depends on the variety, and I'm not an expert at it. I grew them in the bag and it worked, but I don't know. I've had better luck growing them in the dirt.
Yes, but you have the space.
I have the space.
Yeah.
Well, my thought is, how many potatoes are you wanting to grow?
I don't
50
know.
pounds, 200 pounds,
Maybe
1,000
50
pounds?
I say 50. Let's say 50.
50 pounds. If you go by yourself, typically 10 to 15 pound bag of seed potatoes.
Mhm.
Cut the eyes out. If they're big potatoes, you can cut the eyes out as long as it's a decent chunk. It's not a big deal. We cut all of our potatoes, put them in the ground, and you shouldn't have a big deal growing it. You should get enough off of each plant that it's not a big deal. You should be able to grow 50 pounds in your yard.
Awesome. So what type of potatoes?
It depends what you like.
Well, I don't know. We like to can our potatoes.
But do you like Yukon Gold, the yellow ones that you buy? Look at the ones you buy in the store.
Okay, so most
Yukon
of the
Gold,
time we just bake our
Kennebec,
potatoes.
huh?
Most of the time we just bake our potatoes.
Okay. Well, that usually baking. My mom's favorite is Kennebec because that's the old German variety that Grandpa Fitchin always grew. He come from Germany. He come through Ellis Island in the 20s or whatever. He grew Kennebec, so that's Mom's favorite.
Okay.
You talk to an awful lot of people, and each potato tends to maybe do a little bit different. The Yukon Golds or the yellow ones, they don't tend to bake as well, but they're good in like roasts and stuff.
Yep.
The white fleshed ones tend to bake a little better. And then you have like the red skinned ones, like the red Pontiacs and the red Norlands. They're more for like a good fresh cooking, like frying them typically.
Okay.
But you can interchange all of them. The Yukons tend to not get as soft in the middle by like frying them and stuff. They tend to be a little bit crisper. They don't get as soft. But it's what you like. I mean, honestly, if you want, you can go buy a 10-pound bag of potatoes from the store. And most of the time, if you let them sit, they're going to grow the eyes anyway. Because you've all had a potato sit on the counter.
You're saying I don't need to go buy seed potatoes.
Seed potatoes are certified disease-free.
Okay.
The ones from your store may.
Maybe. Okay.
But I know an awful lot of people that's where, when they're getting ready, when they have some potatoes that tend to have eyes, that's where they get them from. And they plant them and they grow.
So I read this thing about yams. For yams, when you first dig them out, you can't just eat them. You have to let them harden or something?
Yeah, you have to let them, what's the cure? You have to let them cure.
Okay.
So why? I got to remember why it is. Something with it that if it helps draw some of the moisture out of it. Because just like potatoes, if you go to a farmer's market and buy fresh potatoes, like new potatoes, the skin is so soft. If you go in there with like a nail brush, you can scrub all of the skin off of them without trying. They're fresh. But if you let them cure, it hardens the skin on it and it makes it so it stores better. But I'm not 100% why it does it. It just does it.
Okay. All right. So while we're on the subject of potatoes, there are things called like new potatoes, your fresh potatoes, but there's a danger in green potatoes. Can you explain the dangers of a green or why they turn green?
The green is from sun. If you take a potato you buy from the store and sit it in your window, it will turn green from the sun.
And
it's a chemical reaction with the skin. So like when we grow them in the garden, if it doesn't quite get buried deep enough and it comes out the top, they will have green. As long as you cut the skin off of it there, it should be fine, but it does get something that grows in it. It's like cyanide or something like that, but I don't remember what it actually is. Because I know they're like in apple seeds, there's cyanide in apple seeds, but you have to eat enough of them that you'd be sick from eating them before it really did it, because it's natural occurring. Because there's different kinds of cyanide, but it's kind of hard and difficult to explain.
So, well,
so it's better to not eat a green. You're safer to not eat them. I do know people that have ate them and never got sick, but everybody always cautions on the side of safety.
The reason why I brought that up is because there was a family. The younger daughter passed away from eating a green potato, but the family, the older people, the adults.
It's probably how your body does it, but it could be something like I'm not saying this is what happened, but I know certain people are allergic to certain things more so. Maybe she had a 10, so her body didn't react as well to it as the others. I don't know, because I didn't hear the story, so I'm speculating, but you're better off not. But most people, it doesn't bother, but you always caution on the side of safety.
Yeah, so we should peel the green off.
Or cut the chunk off. You know how when you're cutting it up, if you find a spot in it, you cut it out. The green is usually it's not very thick in there, but definitely cut it off.
All right, Valerie.
Or throw it. Potatoes are cheap. Throw them away and buy a new one. I would say yes, but I've never tried freezing potatoes.
So, Valerie, I'm going to let you know that when I dehydrate potatoes, I do parboil potatoes before dehydrating them. If you were to dehydrate a potato raw, the starch turns them brown. They are very unappetizing. And then when you rehydrate it, it is rubber. Parboiling them, they are not rubber. Just letting you know that. I have never frozen potatoes, but that's what I do when I'm like hiking and I want potatoes. I parboil them, then I dehydrate them. I've never frozen them.
I would assume like hash browns in the store, I'm pretty sure they are parboiled before they're froze.
Yep.
I'm just assuming that's what it is. I've seen stuff on like how that's made and stuff, but I'm assuming that's what it is, but I don't remember. But I would assume you have to before you do.
Yeah, because
most vegetables that you freeze, you would want to blanch or parboil.
Yep. There you go. That was a good question.
Very good.
All right. So you said certain crops like broccoli and them don't do well in the heat.
Yes.
I mean, let's say I already started it up and now the heat came. What do I do?
Keep watering and you'll harvest it in the fall.
Keep watering.
It might just sit there for an awful long time, and it probably won't get as big as what it could have, but yeah, just keep watering.
Okay.
Water is your friend.
Yeah, water is my friend, but time of day for watering.
I prefer first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Because if you water at night, never water during the heat of the day, because you might as well not waste your money on the water. You're better off not watering. Okay. If you're going to water, because it just evaporates so fast.
Okay. Somebody told me that it boils the roots.
It'll boil the roots if you're dumping hot water on them.
Well, I mean, in the heat of the day.
The ground's going to be the same temperature. Actually, it would cool the water because of evaporation. You know, you got out of the shower before wet and it feels cold because it's evaporating.
Okay.
So that, I don't think that would work. I would water first thing in the morning, because if you water at night, it sometimes doesn't dry off the leaves if you would get it on the leaves, and that can bring on like molds and different issues from it being wet too much or mildews, and then that's bad on your plants. And so first thing in the morning is best, but if you have to late in the evening, it would be better than during the day.
Awesome.
I can't grow celery. Every time I've tried it, it has been super over powerful. I don't know what I've done. I haven't tried it very many times, but I'm just done with it.
Okay.
It's cheaper for me to buy celery in the store.
Yeah, celery is pretty cheap. But so have you ever tried doing celery powder, Janice? I just take my dehydrated celery and just put it in the blender. And then so when I make like potato soup or something and I don't want,
A chunk of it, but you can have the
I
taste.
just put the powder in. Yeah. And I've done that with potatoes too. I just powder it so that way I just put water in it, rehydrate, and I got my mashed potatoes. So instead of buying,
That's more or less how they make instant potatoes anyway.
yeah. So I love doing that for my potatoes, my celery, so that way I could just have, and I have done it with broccoli. So I dehydrated carrots once, and boy, they shrunk so bad. It was not even.
Well, there's probably a lot more in celery than you think.
Yeah.
The one thing I've always wanted to do was watermelon, because they say it's supposed to be just like candy, but they say it takes forever because there's so much water content.
Okay. His broccoli always goes to flower in spring, and my fall plants grow tiny heads before the freeze.
The flowering means you didn't cut them soon enough. And sometimes we have horrible luck with broccoli that it wants to go to flower. We cut it, and a lot of times it'll throw a side shoot off, and they're almost better with that. Or certain varieties are better at it. And then you can harvest more than once. But then if it's in the fall, the heads are small. You probably either have a fertility issue or you should have planted it a little bit sooner.
Okay. All right. Janice says thanks. She has not tried doing the celery powder, but she will try it next time. Good. There's so many things that that are so great when you. I'm coming from a backpacker's point of view. If I just powder stuff, then it rehydrates so much better, and I don't have to carry nearly half as much weight.
It's less bulky too. It doesn't take as big of a package to hold the same weight.
Yeah, it has just been great. I love my dehydrated broccoli. When you're on trail, I know I may not have the same nutritional value, but when you're on trail and you just want something green, it's awesome. It really, really is awesome. Dehydrated broccoli rehydrates really well. Yeah. So
do you dehydrate cheese to go with it, so you can have broccoli with cheese?
No, because you can take cheese on trail.
I was teasing because I thought maybe you'd use the like mac and cheese dust. And
no, I just do that. So I dehydrated the potatoes for mashed potatoes, and I dehydrate the broccoli. Then I can have broccoli, cheese, potato soup.
Oh,
yeah.
That'd be really easy to make it that way.
And then I just
my favorite. I don't like cooked broccoli. I'll eat it raw, but I don't like cooked broccoli unless it has lots of cheese on it. I don't know what it is.
Brenda does not like cooked broccoli at all either.
As long as you dump a ton of cheese on it, it's awesome. I'll eat it like crazy, but just plain cooked broccoli it's hard for me to eat.
Yeah.
I choke it down usually if I have to, but
anyways, folks, if you guys are reading that ticker that's going by the screen, going that way. It's going that way. The links to the hike are in the description box. It is just a few months away, and I'm starting to freak out a little. I didn't, 2 years of planning. I didn't think it was going to come this quick, and it's here.
It's
so
here.
If you guys would like to donate, please just know that it is not mandatory. It's just something to help out. And Valerie, I still plan on meeting up with you. Oh, she said, bless you, Brenda, because she heard Brenda sneeze. But, so the hike's coming up. If you guys can't donate, just send me a good prayer for safety or something like that. All right. We're gonna keep going though. All right. So overwintering. I hear that term a lot.
You read too many Facebook groups.
I just heard you say it.
Not overwinter. We don't usually overwinter vegetables.
Okay.
But
Can
you
we tell
can.
people what overwintering is?
There are quite a few people that I know that are I would call them commercial growers,
Okay.
that plant like a lot of greens like spinach. Spinach is really hardy. You can plant it in your greenhouse in like October and then water it and cover it, and it will freeze. You can get it down to 0. It wilts and looks horrible, but as soon as it thaws back out, it stands back up and it is fine. It's supposed to make it sweeter. A lot of the vegetables, if you let a frost hit it, like the cold crops, the cold weather crops, a frost actually makes them sweet. And so it makes them really good, but it's a lot of work and you have to have a place to go with it. My main reason why I don't mess with it is I don't have anywhere to go with it. I don't have a market for it. So to me, if I don't have a way to get rid of something to sell it, it's not worth me growing. No matter how much people make elsewhere and whatever, there's no reason for me to grow it personally if I cannot sell it.
Cool. Because, well, there was a homestead family that was overwintering their spinach and their kale and all that stuff so they could have it during the winter. But she has a family of, I think, 11.
A big family.
A huge family.
I get it.
And you know, the kids.
My problem with it is I don't want it. Spinach is gross. A little bit in a salad's not bad. I don't like spinach. I don't like kale either. The best place for kale is in a sales bag because I grow a lot of kale. It is not I'm not a big greens person. I'll do lettuce, and we do grow a lot of leaf lettuce, and that's not as bad, but I don't do spinach well. And cooking it makes it smell weird and
okay, so anyways, see, Valerie loves fresh kale. Okay, so I do not.
I know
like
people
kale.
that absolutely go nuts over it. I sell a lot of it. We have a commercial salad spinner that's a 5-gallon bucket. We sell it really well. I don't personally care for it.
In a shake.
I know tons of people that buy it just for that.
Yeah.
I still think it's gross. You might as well go out and eat your yard. It tastes the same.
No, it doesn't.
It's gross.
Kale shakes are great.
No, they're great for you, but
with some radishes, and then I put strawberries in it.
See, that way you can make it taste good. I have no problem with anybody eating it. I know it's super healthy for you. It's just not one I eat.
Okay. So
people are allowed not to like certain things.
Here's my big one. For years, I've been wanting beets.
I know. I have a hell of a time with them.
Do
you eat them really good?
Will my little garden support beets?
Probably.
Better than yours because yours get deer coming to eat it.
Well, and last year it got so dry. They were looking really good there for a while. And they just stopped. They just withered away and died last year because we got so dry. I was really happy. We had a ton of them. They were looking really good. And then they just disappeared.
Well, the one year, the deer ate them all.
Yep.
And then you put up a fence.
Yep.
And now it's the weather.
Yep. It's just, I try.
Yeah.
I sell a lot. I had a lot of people mad at me at the markets too that we didn't have them. I'm like,
yeah.
I wish I had them. I don't like telling people no because that means that's a sale out of my pocket.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always want to have stuff to sell. And I grow stuff that I probably wouldn't grow otherwise. But what do you do? I mean, I like to sell. That's like when we ran out of sweet corn or tomatoes. I don't like saying I don't have them because that's coming out of my pocket.
Yeah.
But they don't look at it like that. They're just, upset that we don't have it. And I'm like, I would love to have another 500 pounds of them sitting here to sell. I
Do
mean,
you
that's
suggest a home gardener to now? There are people that have a lot of land. You've seen my property,
Mhm.
not a lot. Should I grow corn, sweet corn?
personally
Maybe
as easy as it is to come by in Iowa. I would not waste the space
Okay. Okay.
because each plant you will most likely pick one ear off of,
Uh-huh.
and then you're done with it.
Okay.
It's not like Brussels sprouts that keep growing and you can keep harvesting. It's a one pick thing and it takes space. I know your yard. I would not grow it.
Okay.
See, she got 1 jar's worth.
Yeah, yeah. That's better than what we got.
It's better than what I've got the last couple years.
Well, Brenda loves pickled beets.
That's
We
Dad.
pickled the eggs that we got from you this year, and she absolutely loves pickled eggs. We put those pickled eggs into our potato salad. We put them in regular salads, everything. All right, let's go on to zucchini now. I
Zucchini.
see people sell the flowers.
Yep, I have.
Okay, then aren't the flowers the plant itself? No?
It's not the plant, but it's the fruit.
Right.
It'll be the zucchini. That's where it comes from.
Okay. So then every time they sell a flower, they're not selling the zucchini then.
But I sell my zucchini $1 a piece. The guy paid me $1 a piece for the flowers, so
okay.
I just didn't have to wait.
All right. Okay. That's what because from our people, they make a soup out of the flowers,
The gentleman I had was a chef that had he was putting in a furnace or something. He was doing work on the neighbor's house when they built it. That new one right across the road.
Yeah.
He was doing something with it, and I don't remember what it was, but they come and we were open. Well, I had zucchini growing in the back of the little greenhouse that one year. He saw it and he's like, "Can I buy some flowers?" I'm like, "I don't care." I told him like 50 cents a piece because I didn't know what they were worth. He goes, "No, what do you get for their zucchini?" I go, "I get $1 a piece." He goes, "I'll pay that for them." He was wanting to pay me more because he had stuffed them and had this wonderful recipe. And then he happened to stop back by, so I had to ask him, and he says they were delicious. Everybody he worked with that got them said they were awesome. So I have no idea what his recipe was or nothing about it, but yeah, they're edible.
Oh yeah, we make a soup out of them. We stuff it with sausage and then roast it.
See, I think that's what he had. He had some meat of some sorts with it.
Yeah, yeah. All right. We only have 7 minutes left, so I want us to keep going. But okay. Let's talk about what you think a new gardener should stay away from. Hard to grow plants. Hi, Felicia.
Honestly, anything's doable with a little bit of patience.
Okay,
we don't typically grow.
You're talking attack.
I know, but anything should be growable as long as you have favorable weather for it. We live in Iowa. I wouldn't suggest pineapples or oranges.
Okay.
Just they don't do well here with our weather. But anything, there's nothing super stressful about any of them. Honestly, tomatoes are the biggest pain because they get so many different problems with them. You need to know what to do. And if it gets too hot, they abort the flowers. If they're too cold, they don't grow. They don't pollinate right. And growing them outside, it's just you're up in the air with the weather. There's bugs, there's diseases. They're probably the biggest pain, but they're doable. People grow them all the time with no experience at all.
Yep.
And they're probably the worst. But you think of like green beans and peas and carrots and all that stuff. As long as you have decent place to grow it, it's usually not bad to grow.
I am not a peas person. I eat the little, you know, the little shoots, but I don't eat
I
peas.
love them, but my mom won't let us grow them because they suck to pick. And she said she picked too many peas as a kid, and she'd be damned if she's going to do it now. So we grew them once, and they do suck to pick.
Do peach trees grow here?
Peaches do, but if you, the state of Iowa or Iowa State says if you can get one harvest in 5, you're doing really good. We are almost too far north that we get too much cold weather, which prevents them from blooming the next spring, and so they're a pain.
Well, I know
Fruit
we
trees
have
are a big
plums,
pain.
pears and plums. We have a lot of pears and plums here. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So
Any more questions?
yeah, somebody's got a
Quickly.
question for you. Here, right here.
I've never tried it. I do have some mums in the greenhouse that we didn't sell. I have like 4 pots of them, so we're kind of playing with them. But I wouldn't know on geraniums. I do believe it depends on the variety. Certain varieties are probably more apt to do well than others. Just like everything else, there's tons and tons and tons of different varieties, and some of them are more sensitive to cold than others. I've never tried it, but I'm not saying it's not possible.
Well, I know that there's a geranium at work that has been growing for the past 13 years.
Because it's never been outside.
Yeah, it's never been outside. It just grows in next to that window, and it gets like 2 flowers a year, but it's always there.
See, and that's the problem. It's only getting 2 flowers a year.
Yeah.
Some of these other ones that are the first year, they get huge and bloom like crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, that's usually sometimes with the keeping it over or keeping it too long is worse than just cutting it out or cut it out and start over.
Okay. All right. So Janice is telling us good night. I want to thank everybody for coming. Oh, poinsettias. Wow.
That's good luck.
That is.
I've never had that much luck.
I'm guessing she likes the geraniums outside.
Yeah, because poinsettias are a Christmas flower, so they don't grow well when it's cold.
So what do you think? I need to know variety of peppers that should be good for me personally.
Depends what you like. You like hot peppers.
No, I'm talking about, okay, so I like green bell peppers, but Brenda likes the red and the yellows and stuff.
Did you know what? If you pick the green or the red and the yellow ones early, they're green.
So I just leave them on the vine?
Pretty well any green bell pepper that you want, if you would leave it on the plant for longer, it'll turn a color. Typically red, the yellow, the purple, they all start green, and you just have to let it wait. That's why the yellows, the orange, and the reds are all more expensive in the store, because they have to wait. There's more of a chance of something happening to it before it's picked. But they're all the same.
She likes the green too. She likes the green too. I just like the green more than she does.
The yellow, the orange, and red are usually sweeter. Yeah, you just wait. Usually they'll turn colors.
Awesome. Well,
but
that one
it takes forever.
Takes forever. Okay. All right, folks. We have 1 minute left. Willie, I want to thank you.
No problem.
Your knowledge is unmatched, and I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm sure there's people that know way more than me, but this is what I've done for the last 15-ish years.
Yeah.
I have experience with it, so it's easy for me.
Yep. But you're the only one I know, so hey.
You're just lucky.
All right, so I want to thank our side chat people: Shalisha, Wanda, Valerie, Janice, Hike with Mike, Aircraft, and I know.
Did you say Johnny?
Fun, and who?
Johnny.
Prepping Life.
Yeah.
Yep, Johnny Prepping Life, and my brother, the Crazy Scotsman, who is now the Scottish American. I want to thank you guys so much for joining. Check the description box for Willie's link.
Hit the thumbs up on Tax Video too, so it gets shared.
Oh yeah, don't forget to hit a thumbs up. And folks, thank you all so much for your long-term support. We will talk to you guys again, hopefully soon. I know it's been a while, but that's because the holidays, and well, this coming week is Chinese New Year, so I want to wish all of you guys happy Lunar New Year. Until I see you guys again, I wish you guys health, wealth, joy, and peace. Folks, until next time, may all your adventures be A-OK.